How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful Andrew Yang and his UBI, that's Universal Basic Income shtick, that he's been on the campaign trail with over the past year or more. You see the headline on the screen before you. It reads, Andrew Yang's free $1,000 per month welfare scheme was tried in Mississippi. The results were not a surprise. Now, I've read through this article and I'm not surprised at the results, and I don't think you will be either. But let's go ahead and get into it and see what it says. Andrew Yang's promise to give every American $1,000 per month if he were elected president is only a geeky gimmick, and I agree with that. It's not really going to, actually work. It's not going to pan out the way they think. It's just not going to be a good thing. But if you're curious about how more welfare just like that would end, the Washington Post has a mostly fantastic story explaining it all. The paper last week reported on a Mississippi-based nonprofit that gave away $1,000 per month, no strings attached, to 20 low-income Black single mothers living in public housing. Now, I mean, that's what the UBI should be, right? I mean, people that living in these bad areas, whatever, okay, give them some money. How's it going to actually work out, though? Let's get into it. Initial results of the experiment were on display at a meeting held after 1 month of payments. Some of the women talked about their gift-filled Christmases and sported new hairstyles. Are you surprised? Some said they took a sick day for the first time. They began paying off overdue electricity bills and high-interest loans. Well, paying off bills, that's a good thing, but high-interest loans, I mean, what are you getting with? You getting a car you can't afford, a Camaro or something like that, but we'll move on. Kira Johnson, a social worker, asked how much money the women had saved. Quote, I blew all of it, Gray recalled. It only took a weekend. Most of the women said the same thing. In a month, nearly all of the money had vanished. Then they asked if we were going to hand them the next check. So really, these people in the projects, let's pause for a moment. People in the projects on welfare and government assistance, that's all they know. That's all they know. They're trying to get the check from here to there and get them to where they got to be. Okay, that's just all it is from all the different programs you have. You got, EBT, WIC, TANF, Section 8, all kind of different things. They're waiting on the next check, the next handout. That's how that works. Now, I know Andrew Yang says that if you get welfare, you wouldn't really be eligible for the full $1,000. But I mean, if that's the case, then what's the point in having it? So somebody on welfare who gets these programs, they don't get any more money. But me, the guy who makes money much more than a welfare recipient would get, I get more money. How does it make any sense? And then if the purpose is to shore up income lost from people losing their jobs, how is that going to help? Like, I don't get it. So if you were working in the tech industry and you were getting paid like $100,000 a year in California, and then here comes Andrew Yang talking about here's 12,000, how is that going to help you? It'll help a very poor person a lot if they know how to, manage their money right. But we'll get to that in a moment. But a guy with money or a girl with money, how is that going to help us? It doesn't make sense. But let's keep going in the story so you understand how much it does not make sense. Wow, it's almost as if people who are given a bunch of money without having earned it and without any conditions attached to it feel less of a sense of responsibility in how they use it. That is 100% correct. I say that all the time. If somebody is given a thing and they don't have to work for it, they're less likely to take care of it. I've seen people destroy Section 8, beautiful houses. They destroy it. I mean, it's not theirs. They don't have to work for it. They don't pay anything for it. They treat it like it's garbage. But when you work, when you really grind and go hard for years and years, sacrifice your life to save and to scrape and scrimp to get it, you respect it. That's generally how these things go. But we'll keep going. The story went on to say that the women were largely clueless about saving money, using banks, and developing good credit. For that, they needed yet more guidance and support. Democrat terms for more programs. That is correct, 100%. And that is the poverty mentality. We don't understand anything about money, nothing about saving, nothing about good credit or really how to use credit. They're not educated properly. That's a big part of this whole situation. Save the UBI money and put a fraction of that into the public school system to get that tightened up so people understand, finance. Like some of the classes that are there, honestly, we don't need, world history. I mean, that's good to know, but do you really need it when you're in a low income area? You need to understand how to use money, how to, cook, how to do basic life skills. That's what I would do, but that's a whole different story. And for now, I will digress. After 6 months, the number of women in the group who were working hadn't changed. 15 had been employed at the start and 15 remained employed at the end. Of the ones who did have jobs, they, quote, were not making much more money than the women who were not attached to the workforce. Yeah, because you got so many programs out there that their money is just, you're getting all this kind of free money from these government programs. And that's a big problem because they become attached to it. It's like, why go out here and work and do something for myself and be a positive force in society when I can just sit on my hind parts and get the same amount of money? Why? That's the mentality that they have. But let's keep going. Poverty is a real problem and probably one that will never be solved, least of all by giving money away to people who are in it. The geeky $1,000 per month gimmick was tried in Mississippi and it proves it. Well, there you have it. I mean, I think that pretty much wraps it on up with a nice bow on the top. I mean, the UBI situation is just not going to work. Some people just say, I want to get the money, whatever, but you can't look at things just on the surface. Look a little bit deeper. You could see a piece of ice on top of water, but you don't see this whole big iceberg underneath. That's what's going to get you right there. People, blowing money, people getting robbed for the UBI. It'll just be a disaster. And then beyond that, the way Andrew Yang wants to propose, it doesn't even make any sense. It won't even really go towards those who actually need it for real, if they're on welfare programs, and if they decide to decline their welfare programs to get the money in cash, that'd probably even be worse, because if you don't have food stamps, like if you don't have programs that are specifically for certain things, those certain necessities won't get met. Now you're in a worse situation, and they're going to require more money to fix it. So as I close, I want to say this. UBI, not a good idea. Maybe it is thoughtful in its process, but in reality, it's not going to be good. It won't work out. I'm not really sure if Yang Gang is still in the running. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I think he'll drop out soon if he has not dropped out already. The media does not want him. He is kind of just a oddball. And even if he were given the chance, I think the whole UBI thing would be a disaster. So it's probably good that they are Xing them out. It doesn't really matter because they don't have a chance on that side anyway, especially not with ideas that are so far left like what Andrew Yang is proposing. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. What say you? Do you think that Andrew Yang's UBI is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Whatever your comments are about that, let me know in the box. How do you feel about the experiment that was done? Was it good to show that people who are in these bad situations, in poverty, they got kids trying to raise them with no real support? Doesn't it show you that the welfare programs hurt more than they help? Some on the left would say, are you being inhumane if you don't want to provide these single moms with X, Y, and Z necessity or whatever? But the truth is that we are being humane by cutting off a lot of these programs, because the more they stay on it, the more they're going to be on it, and they will never really be able to rise and do anything for themselves. But that's pretty much all I got, and whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.